know that like humans, animals also die when they get sick or old. But what if we told you that there are a few species of animals out there who can actually live on after death? For today's video, we're going to be looking at 10 different types of animals that have the ability to go on living even after their body dies. It might sound like something out of science fiction, but it's true. Watch this video and see some of the more obscure creatures in our world who defy all odds and continue to survive. Number 10, cockroaches. Cockroaches are generally considered among the hardest animals alive. They have survived nuclear blasts, chemical warfare agents like nerve gas or mustard gas, and even being dropped down the stairs. Beheaded cockroaches that are kept artificially ventilated will live for a few days, but eventually they die of hunger and thirst. They search for food with their antennae and can detect smells, indicating that at least a part of the brain is still functioning. The crustacean's nervous system has ganglia, which function as command centers, and subganglia, which receive information from sensory organs like touch receptors or smell receptors, similar to those found in insects. In decapitated cockroach, some of these ganglia keep on working, coordinating certain movements and reflexes unrelated to the sense organs, such as blood pressure regulation. Yet another reason why cockroaches can live for so long without their heads is that they have an unusually powerful heartbeat, even more forceful than that of humans, due to a special muscle tissue called anaxioductal muscles. It helps circulate blood through the body when the head is detached, ensuring that adequate supply of oxygenated blood and nutrients to tissues that are otherwise no longer being supplied by blood vessels. Number 9, octopus. The octopus, also known as an octopod, has been hailed as one of the greatest hunters on Earth. This unique aquatic sea creature can be found throughout oceans all over the world. Octopus are eaten in many parts of the world, and sometimes you can see the tentacles moving on your plate even if they've been cut off from the main body. This is because their tentacles have neurons in them. No matter the size of the octopus, it will keep on living for a long time even after it's killed. These tentacles can be difficult to eat because of their movement. Octopus are known to have 3 hearts and blue blood. The octopus is equipped with large suction cups on their tentacles, which they use to grab and hold on their prey and burrow into crevices in the rock where they live. If any one of his tentacles or eyes gets hurt, he will grow a new one back. Octopi survive well for a very long time even when the animal is killed by its predator or hunter or die out of old age. They can be open sea creatures that eat anything from plankton to whales. Hunting predators like orcas, a type of dolphin, will also seek them out as their next meal after attacking other food sources. Number 8, flies. Flies are probably the most well-known of all insects and can be found in every single corner of the world, even deep within tropical rainforest. Most flies have rather short life cycles and can typically only live around 2 weeks, or some may last for less than 1 week, while others far longer. Flies also possess the ability to enter a zombie state, known as diapause. They experience this process during late summer months in regions where wintertime will soon arrive, or in areas where cold weather is common year-round. Due to the fact that they are unable to enter into a hibernation-like state, flies will reduce their metabolic rate and even alter their development stage. In other words, houseflies can take short naps during the hottest time of summer, without ever entering into full death. If flies use tubes on the sides of their bodies to breathe, it can survive for a very long time without oxygen. Once the tubes are clear, the fly can start breathing again. Number 7, sea slugs. Have you ever heard of sea slugs? There are different types of sea slugs. Some are herbivores while others carnivores. Have you ever heard of nudibranchs? These carnivorous sea slugs are extremely small in size, typically less than 2 inches long, but do possess an outstanding sense of smell. They can be found virtually everywhere in the ocean, including coral reefs, islands, and rocky shores. As it turns out, these creatures are excellent at pretending to be dead due to the fact that they can produce a chemical known as glycine. This fluid is actually poisonous and mimics one of their predators, the flatworm, so it's impossible to tell if the slug is dead or alive. So for once, they give a perception of coming back to life after death. Number 6, salamanders. It's time to talk about salamanders. You knew this was going to be on the list. These amphibians spend a majority of their lives living underwater but will emerge from ponds and other sources of water during the late spring or summer. Due to the fact that they need an abundance of oxygen in order to breathe properly, breathing through gills, these animals have developed many coping techniques which allow them to survive for long periods without access to air. However, if you were to place one on dry land, away from any moisture, they would likely die. Another amazing quality in salamanders is the quality of regeneration. They have a specific type of protein in their body that can help them regenerate their limbs. So how do you kill a being that can regenerate its body? Well, it's not easy. In fact, scientists say that there are only 2 ways a salamander can be killed. Dehydrate them until they die of thirst, or have some sort of X-ray or radiation machine that targets the mitochondria in their cells, the area responsible for cellular respiration. This shows how powerful salamanders are. They are the closest thing you will see to an immortal living being. Number 5. Flatworms. We had to add flatworms to the list. Like salamanders, flatworms have an amazing regenerative quality that makes them almost immortal. Flatworms, generally known as the planarian, have been discovered on every continent except for Antarctica and can survive for an astonishing 1,000 different types of environments. For example, these creatures are capable of surviving high temperatures through a special protein called cryoprotectin, which reduces ice crystal formation within cells. Additionally, if you drop them into boiling water, they'll be able to reanimate themselves. Finally, let's not forget about their regenerative abilities. If a planarian is cut in half, it will generate back together again, including its brain. Number 4. Frogs. Did you know that animals as cute as frogs can go into a dead zombie-like state? Frogs can keep on living for weeks after being brain dead. Experiments were conducted on frogs to see how they would behave once their brain was removed from the body, and the results were shocking. The frog kept on behaving the same way they did when they had a brain. The respective study has not been conducted on all species of frog, however. This has given birth to a lot of new research on how the frog brain actually works, as it's considered as the nervous system of the body for all animals. How could the frog feel pain and send messages to the limbs and other parts of the body without the brain? Was actually baffling. However, this shows that frogs can live for a long time even after being brain dead. Number 3. Lobsters. Lobsters sometimes come back to life when thawed because of a phenomenon called Lazarus syndrome. When cells that have been frozen for a long time come back to life, Lazarus syndrome is an interesting anomaly in nature, but it does not happen in every dead organism. Lobsters have a very low tolerance for cold water, so it is not uncommon for them to die when thawed and then refrozen. However, the ones that survive thawing become alive again by the time they reach their boiling water. When cooked, lobsters will die because of the heat. When they're refrozen, they don't die but fall into a deep state of suspended animation, which is why lobster legs are usually sold frozen and can be cooked at home. Scientists don't understand why this happens, but they have a few theories of what might be happening. One theory is that there could be a single cell deep within the lobster's nervous system that is still controlling its actions when it dies. Lobsters seem to be able to come back from death because their cells replicate faster than the time it takes for ice crystals and gas bubbles in their body's cavities to form, ice crystals or gas bubbles. Number 2. Eels. The eel is another unique species of aquatic sea creature that can possess the ability to come back from the dead, too. Interestingly enough, an eel goes through various developmental stages throughout its life, which helps explain how this animal can live after death. When eels are born, they live in fresh water and feed on other fish. However, as they get older and bigger, eels migrate to the ocean where they begin a completely different lifestyle and environment filled with new predators. In order for them to survive in this harsh ecosystem, these sea creatures can go without air for up to 2 hours, as well as swim through sand or mud bottoms amidst the current of oceans. Many times an eel can look stiff and dead, however, once you put them back in the water, it will instantly start swimming. Some eels are actually dead but still show movement. That is because of muscular contractions. An eel's nervous system makes them react to high temperatures and other sensations even after it's dead, which is why many dead eels tend to move when you're cooking them. Before we move on to the next entry, let's check out some of the honorable mentions. Hydra, ants, snails, snakes, chickens, starfish, sea cucumber, sea sponges. Now it's time for the first entry on our list, and we're sure you're not going to be surprised by it at all. Number 1, jellyfish. We had to put this on number 1. If you're interested in the regenerative techniques that many species are capable of, then you've probably already heard of the immortal jellyfish. First discovered off the coast of South Africa, this species is capable of rejuvenating itself immediately after dying. This means that if the jellyfish is removed from its natural environment and placed into a dish of fresh water, it would eventually emerge to continue living. Jellyfish is known to be immortal, and a jellyfish you see today may have been around millions of years ago. They are just amazing creatures that they predate the dinosaurs. The jellyfish's immortality has been linked to a protein which can convince cells to revert back to their younger forms, thus causing it to age in reverse. Although these creatures have not yet made any breakthroughs when it comes to living forever, they are still considered one of the most intriguing creatures to live in our oceans. So, there you have it, 10 of the most unusual animals that can come back to life even after death. I hope you liked our list of 10 unusual animals that can live after death. Did we miss any? Do you know any unusual animal that can come back to life? Let us know down in the comments. To get notified about future uploads, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell icon.